Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening, BSL. And good evening to everyone else within the sound of my voice, north, south, east, and west. You've tuned in to the June 27, 2023 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I am your host and facilitator and moderator and administrator, Mr. Mike Walker. Glad to have each and every one of y'all here with us. Peace of land. Glad to have y'all with us. Glad you decided to spend an hour or so with us on this Tuesday night. And we hope and pray that you had a good day today. And if not, we'll pray rest of this day be pretty good. So thank you so much. This is the last one. This is the last Tuesday Talk for this month, though. So, hey, pretty good right there. Pretty good. So, we got a good show for y'all, though. So, let's get started. We're going to get started with the salutations. You don't have to tell us where you're from, but if you want to, hey, that's fine. So, just glad each and every one of y'all here with us. So, we get started with that. Here we go. Pastor Ballers from Columbia, South Carolina. Great to have you here. Brother Marcus Wilbanks from Beham Metro. Good to have you here as well. Sheila Edwards, great music. You know what? Please remind me, and I give you the link or the song. Please make sure you remind me. Okay, I done forgot the name of the people though, but I'll give it to you. I don't mind sharing. It is soothing, ain't it? Sherry from Houston. Good to have you here, dear. Hope you show up at the after party. I ain't gonna tell all your business out here. Cassandra Cunningham, always great to have you here, ma'am. You need to be at the after parties too, but great to have you here. Sharice Walters, good to have you here, ma'am, from Jacksonville, Florida. Good to have you here. T from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Great to have you here. Beautiful lady, great to have you here. Brenda Peterson, good evening. From Columbus, Ohio. Great to have you here. I believe this is your first time here. Hopefully it won't be your last though, but glad to have you here. Char Black, good to have you here from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Great to have you. Stacy Burton, good evening to you as well, ma'am. Good to see you. A.B. Vaughn Williams Terry, good evening to you. Always a pleasure to have you here. Great to see you. Lynn Brown from Brooklyn. You're going to be in Brooklyn now. Great to have you here. One of the 5 boroughs, Brooklyn, New York. Great to have you here. Teresa Jones from North Carolina. Always good to have you here. Okay. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Okay. Donna from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Great to have you here. And of course, she from White Plains, New York. Leslie, great to have you here from Beham Metro. You know it's always good to have you here. Wish you was up here with me, but and great to have you here. I'm just messing with you. Marissa McClendon, good evening to you as well. Is this your first time here? I don't know, but well, glad to have you here. J Little from Birmingham Metro. Great to have you here, J Little. Great to have you here. Erica Stanley from Kansas City, Missouri. Always good to have you here. Thank you. Yolanda E. Miller. Good evening to you as well. I love her glasses. Good evening to you as well. Oh, okay. You on vacation. Okay. I know, but you've been working, You got to make that money. Go for that bag. I don't blame you. Tony Graves McCrae. Good to have you here, ma'am. This your first time? Let us know. This old mind of mine. Okay, good. That's what I figured. Okay, good. And Tracy Williams from Moody, Alabama. Good to have you here. Great, great to have you here. I think that's all for now. Okay, well, we're going to get started, though. We're going to get started with, we always have our little appetizer. So I'm going to make this, I don't know, I'm trying to, got so many to pick from, though. Really, literally, we got so many to pick from. Good topics. Let me see what would be a good one. When we get to the main course. Okay. Okay, we'll do this one, okay? We'll do this one. Let me put this up here. Like I said, we got so many. I'm gonna put them up here. About being single. Yeah. Are you all right being single? That might be a rhetorical question. Are you okay? Are you okay with being single? So we got the video. So y'all take a listen, okay?
I'm 20 years old and I've never had a girlfriend. A lot of people, most people, are visibly surprised when I tell them this. And I don't know why. I don't know why it's such a big deal that I've never had a girlfriend before. Growing up, I had very high standards and very low confidence. And come to find out, that's not a very good combination when you're looking for a partner. But over time, my confidence has grown to match my standards. Now, this is not me, subtly asking people to slide in my DMs. This is just me telling my story so that anybody else who can relate understands that they're not alone and that it's okay to not have a girlfriend. It's okay to be single. I'm 20 years old and I have never had a girlfriend before. I used to be ashamed of that. But now, it brings me a sense of empowerment, knowing that I didn't give in to the peer pressure from other people to just date for the sake of dating.
Okay. So he says he's never had a girlfriend. I guess depending on what he defines as a girlfriend. So, are you all right with being single? Are you okay? Do you feel pressured? Do you relate what this young man was talking about? Let me put it back up here. Can you relate to his predicament or situational position? Let me see. And I'm with you. He's only 20. Let's see how he feels at 30. I agree with you. Yeah, 20, you carefree, footloose and carefree, but 30, I don't know, your mind get to changing when that 3-0 happens, though. That's a good one right there. Uh Pranita Garner, good to have you here. He's 20 years old. Yep. That makes a big difference, though. And then again, his whole mind might change during that time. Because I know when I was his age, at age 20, I wanted someone. Age 19, I wanted some. Age, what's that other age? Age 19, going back. I always wanted someone. So, yeah, here we go. Erica Garner. Excuse me, Erica Stanley. Mine somewhere else. Singleness isn't a bad thing. I don't believe it's a curse. Relationships are a lot of work. Yes, I felt pressure, but I'm in a place where I'm not rushing myself into another one. Okay. He is still young. I'm loving. Excuse me. I'm good. Loving my peace. And you know what? Peace. Peace is so important, though. Reginald, being single sucks at times, but I'd rather be single than to deal with drama that sometimes come with dating and being with someone. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good. You know what? I was talking about my mind was distracted. I'm talking about a date. She already being messy. She fired, y'all. Okay. Lynn says everyone has different desires. Okay. Donna says he's young. I'm glad he's not giving in to peer pressure. And that can be respected. Brother Willis, glad to have you here, sir. I've been single, celibate for 5 years and going go and come as I please. Okay. I agree. Okay, okay, she behind herself. At my age, now I want someone, but I'm loving it until the right person comes. Okay. Sheila Garcia says, but if God sends the person, I believe it's different. Okay, she says that part. Okay, and hey, you to you, hey, love to you. And I wonder, he's not giving in to the pressure, but, you know, if he's not giving in to the pressure, I don't know. I think he probably desire female companionship. Yes, he doesn't want to be pressured into that. And that's a good thing, though. But I think he desires someone. I believe he does. But then again, hey, I might be wrong. It won't be the first time I'm wrong. Okay, good evening to you, Sister Price. Good to have you. Uh, Erica, good to have you here. I'd rather be single until the right person comes. I choose peace. Trina, good to have you. I'm single, working ministry, and I'm trying to stay busy, content, but I ain't happy. And that's an honest opinion. That's an honest opinion. Okay. Tiffany Murphy, do you focus on being single or do you learn and enjoy the journey of being single? It's all about perception. Jay, he probably has had female friends and they liked him, but his standards were too high. Possible. Yes. Lynn Brown, at times the loneliness gets to me. Okay. And he might be lonely. And then again, like Lynn says, he probably have a lot of female friends and he probably hadn't thought twice about that. You know, he hadn't thought twice about that though. So that's pretty interesting right there. She's saying, I feel you. Uh-huh. Okay. And we glad to have you here too. But you here. Glad to have you. Glad you're here. So he doesn't, I don't know. Again, he got a lot of growing up to do, but then again, if we're feeling some kind of way and I'm over half a century years old, well, I guess he has a lot of life surprises in store for him though. He's still young. I'm okay with my singleness. I just don't want to get content with being single. I do desire a relationship. And Lola, good to have you. He is young and probably staying busy cultivating himself because he did say he had self-esteem issues. It will balance out. Okay. That's fair enough right there. So when I say this for myself though, singleness is I don't know, it's a mixed bag for me. Singleness is a mixed bag for me. On one hand, I enjoy that peace. And I say this, I joke about it, kind of, sort of. That's more pizza for me or snacks for me, though. I enjoy the peace, though, but sometimes I miss the smell of a woman, the touch, the tenderness of a woman, though. So, hey, it's tough, though. And that says she's content being single. Okay. I like this question from Jay. How many 50 plus year people are content in their singleness? Give us tips on how you do that. And that's a good one. How do you do that? How do you do that? I'm weird. I love, hate being single. Okay. You know what? I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Good evening, Kathy. Good to have you here. Great to have you here as always. Marcus, he's only 20. His life is just beginning. There's no need to rush into a relationship. He needs a crash course on focusing on himself first before diving in. It will be 6 years in August for me, so I'm content on being single for now. Okay. Uh, Angela Odin, it's okay to be single. You have to know how to love yourself before you can love someone else. And good to have you here. Good evening, brother Wallace. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, you are not a virgin. Is she asking me or asking someone else that? Oh, I don't know. Um, Annette, sometimes I do miss a man's company. Okay. Good evening, Renee Duncan. Singleness is not a bad thing. One thing you can do is, if you desire a mate, companion, write down in a prayer to God exactly what you're looking for and continue to pray about it. God does answer prayers. And you know what? That could be kind of a loaded, oh, I shouldn't even say that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good when God gives you what you want. Okay. Sometimes it's not good when God gives you what you want. I don't know how many others might agree or catch that or what have you, though. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep my eye on you, Miss Garcia. Okay. That's true for me. I do desire that. Okay. Having God first. Good to have you. Uh, Dues, good evening to you, brother. Okay. Okay, Erica. I think that your opinion about the mixed bag is real, though. Singleness can be bittersweet. Then you may want companionship at one point. Okay. Good evening to you, Angela. Okay. And oh goodness, Renee Davenport. Good evening to you. Glad to have you here. Stacy. Staying busy and continue working on self. Okay. Okay. Monica Fleming Owens, good to have you here. Yep, thank you. Glad you, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Donna, I'm in the 50 plus club and I'm dating so I can be in a committed relationship because I'm just content being single. Okay. Okay, Donna. Now, why was that? Oh. She got the eyes out there. Good evening. Okay. Oh, Shauna Pilson, good to have you here. I'm happy and content in my singleness. I have learned to continue to improve and enjoy life as a single. I travel and treat myself, but ain't nothing like a strong, good smelling man. Whew. Okay, I hear you. Kim says, I'm scared to pray for a man because I know God answers prayers. See, okay, somebody else can call that. Yep. Agree. Be careful what you pray for. You may discover that that's not really what you thought you wanted. Speaking from experience, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Be careful what you ask for. You just may get it. And especially when you're dealing with a mate, a relationship. Oh man, you don't need that. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't need that though. Well, you know what? That's enough of that. That was a good, appetizer. That was a good one. We about to get to the main course. But of course, as always, please like, please subscribe, and please share. Like, subscribe, share. Okie dokies. Up next, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Okay? Forgiveness. And I know we know this though, but I'm gonna put the definition of forgive up here. Forgive. To stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. Mm. Okay. Now, show of hands, how many of us'ns have a hard time forgiving someone? How many of us, show of hands, have a hard time forgiving someone? You know, Because I know I do. I know I do. I know we have to forgive, but I know I have a hard time though. And especially depends on what they did to me. Especially what they did to me. Ooh-wee. That's something right there. Let me see what the family got to say. Let me see what the family got. Some of y'all got to say. Brother says, I can forgive easily, but can't forget. And that's true. And that is true. That is true. Forgiveness requires maturity. In what way? Explain that. In what way? Uh, uh, Sherry says, I think I forgive too easy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that can happen too, because some people can take advantage of your goodness. So that's definitely it right there. Sis Angus, good to have you here. Mm-hmm. I see that. And Brother Marcus. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's safe to say most of us. So as you know, you got the video. So here's our first video. And y'all take a listen.
Forgiveness, what does it do? Well, it frees you from the pain and the anger and the bitterness and the hatred, but it might not free you from the need for boundaries. There may be a time where you say, yes, I do forgive you, but that kind of behavior is no longer acceptable. Yes, I freely forgive you, but some things need to change. The Bible says that a city without walls is vulnerable, and you can forgive while still creating the right and the healthy and the appropriate and the God-honoring boundaries while trust is rebuilt and restored.
Okay. Okay. What y'all think about that? The boundaries. You know, how many of y'all can forgive right away? How many of y'all, it takes a minute to forgive? How many of y'all have to deal with that? And that's, I guess, the first part of this. Is it simply about letting it go? So let me see what we got to say about this. Okay, Erica. I've learned to quickly forgive. Okay. Pastor Walters, there are two subjects that we preach on during the year that the church get real quiet. Number one, tithe, and number two, forgiveness. Okay. Sis Garner, I can forgive, but not forget. And you know what? Let me ask y'all this, and I'm gonna read the rest of y'all comments though. But how many of y'all equate forgiveness with forgetting about it? How many of y'all equate forgiveness with forgetting about it? Can you have a forgiving heart? Can you give forgiveness without, I guess, forgetting the offense that was done to you? So, y'all answer that for me. Okay. Me too. Stacy says, I forgive, but depending on the offense, it may take a minute. Okay. Angela, not anymore. I don't have time to be angry with anyone. It disturbs my peace. That's a good one right there. Okay, y'all coming in. Jay, to the degree to which I forgive depends on the amount of hurt I've experienced. Uh-huh. It's usually a process for me, okay? Sister Fleming Owens, Sister Chandra, I have grown to learn that forgiveness is a part of my peace. That's good. Okay. Sis Ely, good to have you here. I can forgive you without giving access to me. And like the old saying, I feed them with a long handled spoon. Yeah, I forgive you. That doesn't mean I have to hang around you. I give you that forgiveness. But that's it, though, especially if it's a friendship or a romantic partnership, which I will get into in a little bit. I can easily. Okay. Deanna, good to have you. I agree. Boundaries are good in life. Sure, yes, it's because keeping all the negative energy can eat you away. Mm-hmm. They'll be walking around in your mind and they moved on in their life. So that's a good one. I have to process things to forgive. If they didn't mean to cause harm genuinely, it's not difficult. And I never forget. Mm, that's true, but I have to pray about it and allow God to help me. And each situation is different. Okay. Sis Brown, good to have you. Forgiveness is healing for the person that was hurt or offended. Boundaries are the best way to maintain that safe place after forgiveness. I feel bad when I don't forgive. I wish I could let some folks just have it. I'm pretty sure you're not the only one. Present company included. Yeah. Donna, I'm learning to forgive, and forgiveness is letting go. Okay, Bernice, good to have you. Yes, I can forgive and forget. Daniel Lynch Shaw, good to have you. I've learned to forgive because I need God to forgive me. Okay. Okay. I'll read it. Tiffany says we have to first define what forgiveness looks like. It is simply word. Is it simply words? Is it never talking to the person again and letting time separate you for the memory? Is it giving another chance? We have to define. Well, and I think most of us, I believe this. In some cases, and this is just me, and don't quote me on this, some cases, reconciliation shouldn't even be on the table, especially if they are chronic. Well, I'm just making up my own term, a chronic herder. You know, reconciliation shouldn't even be on the table. If they known to hurt you, then you just need to forgive them and go on. Those memories are gone. They still there, but hey, you got to look out for yourself though. So, uh, okay, and this is a good one. Most of us just tell the offender we forgive them, but don't really mean it. Okay, y'all coming in this one. Not like I used to. It has been a lot of prayer and relying on God to help me forgive and release the hurt, anger. It was a spiritual weight to carry. There are sometimes I have to work on my way through it and process the situation. I can say it's easier to forgive today for me. I do not forget most times, but I try not to dwell on the situation. Danielle says forgiveness doesn't always mean reconnection. Lola, no, I can't forgive my memory too strong. I have boundaries after an offense. Okay, Deanna says you can ask Jesus to heal the hurt, but depending on the severity of the action, forgetting may not be an option. Absolutely, positively. Put a pin right there. Like you loan somebody $20 and they never paid you back. You forgive them of that debt. You probably won't think anything about it unless they bring it up. Okay? But then flip the script. What if you were assaulted by them? What if they stabbed you? What if they hurt a family member? Yes, you can find in yourself to forgive them. But can you easily get that out your mind? Especially if you have physical scars to show about it. Can you easily get that out your mind, though? So that's a good point, Sis Lewis. I like that. Barton Wallace, I did have that issue, but the Lord taught me to forgive and to forget. The way it worked for me was the Lord showed me how he forgave and forgot my sons. And he showed me the scripture about reconciliation. Okay, I can forgive, but won't forget. However, I don't let it bother me forever. Okay, Sister Ely, that's the only way to forgive. If you're unwilling to forget, you're not really forgiving. Well, some cases you can forgive easy, but some cases you can't, just like I said a few minutes ago. So, there's people I forgive. They hurt me real bad. I forgive them. I don't want anything to do with them, but I forgive them. Sis Angus, I used to easily forgive, and people took advantage of me. So since my ex-fiance, I have learned to forgive my health and sanity. But I still resent dating certain guys because of him. Understandable. I also set boundaries, which means I automatically delete things out of my life so I don't even care if it's family. Okay. Good evening, Queen. Glad to have you here. Angela. Right? Depending on the offense, I will separate myself from you. Sis Lynn, I will forgive you, but that's all that's for me to heal. But it could bring the relationship to an end. I'm with you. Annette, this is a question that has been on my mind. We must forgive to be forgiven by God. Do we have to forget for God to forgive us? I can't answer that. I can't answer that. That's a good question, but I can't answer that though. Okay, let me look. Okay, y'all coming in here. Okay. You know what? And y'all coming in. But let me read what Bernice says. With God, all things are possible. I agree. T says, I have to forgive because being a Christian, that's part of our walk to forgive. But with that being said, I also learned a lesson from the hurt that caused me to have to forgive you. So no, I won't forget it, but I will let it rest for my peace. That's a good one right there. I get you, Shantina. I think if it continues to come up and draws a response, the resentment or hurt is still present. I believe real forgiveness is evident when we can move past it without the resentment. Releasing brings peace so we can move on. Okay. So, now we got got another video, and they talk about steps. And this is subjective. Everybody got their own opinion on it. But they got their steps on how to forgive someone. How, and we just get to this one right here. Yeah, how do you forgive someone? How do you grant someone forgiveness though? So it's a video. And like I said, this is an opinion video. So, I definitely know it's not. I definitely don't consider it fact though, but let's take a listen.
If you need to forgive someone but don't know how, you might want to try these 3 simple steps. Forgiving someone who hurt you is difficult but not impossible. Number 1, understand the true meaning of forgiveness. Forgiveness is extending grace to someone who has hurt you, even if they don't deserve it, which in turn allows you to heal. Number 2, your healing is your responsibility. Address your pain by identifying it and taking steps to heal yourself. And number 3, turn your pain into purpose. This isn't to diminish what you went through, but rather to make the best out of it for your benefit. Comment and like for more.
So, how do y'all feel about that? How do you feel about that? Is it our responsibility to heal ourselves? Can we heal ourselves, period? Can we turn that hurt? Well, I could believe that part, that you could turn that hurt into a purpose. I could believe that. But is it necessary? Is that a necessary step, though? How do y'all feel about that? Is that too simple? Is that too simple? Or maybe she missed the mark, or maybe she was on to something. Let me see what SBC has to say. Okay. And Ned says, I will ask God to heal me. I can't heal myself. Kind of figured that out myself, though. But then Shar says, yes, you can heal yourself. I have. Interesting though. Could you tell us? And I'm asking because I might need your advice or tips. How did you heal yourself? Please do share with us. Sister Shireen, good to have you. Some people can't just learn how to forgive. So sometimes counseling may be an option too, and also prayer. Okay, that's pretty good right there. And I'll read some of the other ones. Stacy says, I never forget, never forget, but I move on mentally and physically. But if there is an encounter, I can love you from a distance. You'll never get that close again. Hence, boundaries. Pastor Voters. When folks say they have forgiven you, you say it with your lips, but what's truly in your heart? God knows the real deal. A weight is on my heart when I don't forgive. So I choose grace and will forgive. And I like this. Kim Richardson. Let's find forget. That's a good one right there. Let's find forget. Donna says, I agree, forgiving is self-healing. How many of y'all agree with that? How many of y'all agree that forgiving someone is self-healing? Because I can speak for myself, though. I don't know. I've forgiven people, but I still... Forgiving and healing is for you. Okay. Renee Duncan. I can agree with the first 2 points. I'm on the fence about the third one. Some hurts are deep, and if you're not open to sharing with someone, it will not necessarily work to be your purpose. Put God first, seek his guidance, and don't be afraid to seek therapy as well, or a trusted friend, someone to talk to or pray with you. Okay, that's a good one right there. Kitty, good to have you. When it comes to forgiving someone, yes, you can heal yourself. I've done it by acknowledging my hurt and my feelings and realizing with time that the weight of anger and pain wasn't worth my sanity. For me, time and a changed perspective aided in my healing. Okay, I agree with that. Yeah, define forget. Yeah, okay. Hey, Tarla. Good to have you. The forgiveness may not be for you, but for the other person. You may have to share that with me. I'm serious. You need to share that with me. Tools and techniques. You really need to help me with that, though, because I need it. So, okay. But now we're going to get to the other part, though. We're going to switch to the other part, though. We talked about forgiveness in general. Maybe family, friends, or what have you, enemies, or what have you, though. But now, here's something right here. Here is something right here. Forgiveness in relationships. Now, that to me, that might be a different bird of a feather compared to other ones. Then I might be just as wrong as two left shoes, though. Forgiveness in relationships, and of course we're talking about romantic relationships. How do how does that go? And of course, you got the video, and again, it's subjective, but y'all take a listen, okay?
If you cheated on someone and they decide to take you back, but they have a problem of actually getting over it and they keep on bringing it up, all they really need is reassurance. As the offender to this situation, I get that it can be annoying, but it is not fair that you rush their healing process.
This is actually a really interesting conversation. I mostly agree. I wouldn't say that I totally agree. I think on one hand, sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves about whether or not we truly have the capacity to forgive someone for something. So in the discussion of fairness, I also don't think that it's fair to maneuver as if forgiveness is on the table when for some people it's not. So my question is, what do those revisiting conversations look like and how often? For one party to say, you know what, I thought that I could be able to forgive you for this, but I don't think that that's actually a realistic possibility for me. Or for another person to say, you know what, hey, I feel like us trying to force this is doing more harm than good. And I think maybe it's time for us to move.
Okay. So how do y'all handle that? Forgiveness within a relationship. How do y'all forget? How do y'all handle that right there? Okay, and I'm gonna read some more of y'all comments while y'all chew on that. Tanya L. Jackson, good evening, all. I have to forgive, but depending on the transgression, I may have to love you from afar. Forgiveness doesn't mean we are to reset to where we were before. Interesting, though. Interesting. Learning to be watchful of who deserves to have access to my heart. Sometimes we allow the wrong people in too close, even after we see the signs. You better preach that. You better preach that right there. Kidding. Nope. If you say you have forgiven me, you don't get to keep bringing it up again and again. We have discussed the pain I've caused. You chose to forgive me. Then that's it. I get you right there. If you're still talking about it, then you haven't forgiven. Okay. I have a story on that, but it'll take up a whole session. Shar. I've learned to heal myself through God's strength because of my son's friend that killed my son. Wow. I got to a point in my life that I needed peace in my life. Was it hard? Yes. But at the end of the day, everyone has to live with their demons. Prayers for you, my sister. Prayers for you and yours. Reginald, in marriage or even in serious relationship, never go to bed angry, not forgiving, because what if he or she didn't wake up in the morning and now you got to deal with that? I actually dealt with that. Me and a friend fell out, and before I got a chance to say, hey, bro, I forgive you, whatever, he passed on. So I could definitely understand that. Tiffany Murphy, you have to have an established foundation in the relationship to move on to forgiveness. Absolutely. What is it based on in the beginning to even cause the offense? Too many people rush into love and don't set relational boundaries and realistic expectations in the relationship to lay the foundation for true forgiveness if needed. I like that right there. I like that. I might give you a raise for that. Keyword might. Shireen, for me, 5 years ago, my ex broke up with me via text. I had no closure or means to physically get forgiveness, so I had to go within and forgive through prayer. Wow. I'm so sorry about that. Lynn, I had to forgive two of my partners and move on because I couldn't continue in that kind of relationship. I didn't handle it well because it was continually happening in my marriage. Wow. Tarla, forgiveness has no boundaries on the type of relationships. Forgiveness is an acceptance of the person back. I think people decide to grant forgiveness before they have actually processed to forgiveness. Okay. Angela Williams, I have had someone cheat on me. I forgave them, but it took a while for to trust him again. However, I never brought it up to him again. I just worked on myself. Wow. Renee Duncan, in a romantic relationship, it may depend on what your personal deal breakers are. Example, if your partner cheated versus they had an outside kid while they cheated. You maybe could forgive the cheating, but the deal breaker could be having an outside child. As a person, you know what your personal limits are and is and what you can handle. That's interesting. Ooh, Destina Walter, so glad to have you here with us, beautiful lady. Just because you take a person back doesn't mean you didn't forgive them. Your love for them is what lets you take them back. It may take time to fully get over it. Reassurance is necessary. Okay, I hear you, Sis Walter. I hear you. Forgiving is a form of giving. We have to give our brokenness and hurt to God and directions to go to that person. Okay, that's pretty good. And Kitty, forgiveness doesn't equal reconciliation. That's all I got to say. Thumbs up. Okay, so we talked about this though in relationships and what have you though. But how well, ignore how I'm gonna say this though, but how do you ask for forgiveness from someone? Have you asked for forgiveness from someone? Have you done it? How does it work? How did it work out? How do you go about doing it though? And I know that's a tough thing to do right there. It's asking someone to forgive you though. So as always, got a clip. And this is something interesting what this young man said about apologizing to someone. Y'all take a listen.
I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she was voicing her frustration with people's inability to rectify their wrongdoing. And she pointed out something very true. She said, people think they can hurt you and then come back months later like nothing happened. If you're watching this, please understand that time is not an apology. A true apology requires recognition of the transgression, a realization of how that transgression hurt you, and an intentional concerted effort to set up boundaries so that it doesn't happen again. That's an apology. Not ghosting someone long enough for them to begin the healing from what you did, just for you to come back and continue the same patterns.
Okay. So what do y'all think about that? How do you apologize to people? And I know a lot of things he said probably been thrown at you, but have you done those things? Have you wronged somebody and you never formally apologize or ask for forgiveness or beg their pardon? Then you just come back, hang out with them like business as usual. The nerve. Let's see what the family got to say, y'all. Let me see what the family got to say. Okay. Shar says, to me, communication is always the key for me. When you know you have done or been wrong, there's no shame in my game to stand up and be grown about it. Okay. Let me see. And that, let me see right here. Okay, here it goes. Nothing to do with cheating. The man and I go to the same church. He had issues and was out of the safety of God. My pastor knew him and told me, and he is not on your level. Lesson learned, but I see him every Sunday, and through God, I forgave him. Okay. Facts. Hey, Tia, good to have you here from KC. Okay, Angela. I never done that, but it happened to me years ago. Today, that would not fly. I understand that. I understand that. Okay. One of my exes did just that. I reached out to me via Snapchat, and I bought it. He said, people change. And I said, and you never apologized for what you did to me. And he said, I know. And then he ghosted me. Wow. Okay. Destina says, I have actually never done that. That's wild. I could never do that because it's been done to me many times. Wow. I hear you. Okay. Okay. Renee, now I can agree with that in reference to the video. Personally, I swallow my pride, have a conversation and say, I'm sorry. And I will acknowledge when I am wrong. Okay, y'all good though. And I meant he reached out. Yeah, Venus, good to have you here. So that's one of the toughest things to say is I'm sorry. You know, sometimes it's tough and sometimes it's not. I like what Pastor Balder said. If you are a child of God, the Holy Spirit will not let you say you are sorry. He will keep you until you keep at you until you do. Okay. Stacy says, as soon as I recognize what I've done, or it has been brought to my attention that I've offended someone, I apologize. Life is short, and it's up to the other person whether or not they accept it. Then act accordingly. Okay. No, it's not if you know you're in the wrong. Sis Kim says, I can say I'm sorry pretty easy. It bothers me. But if I don't apologize when I hurt someone, I take the responsibility and apologize. Wow. Donna says that happened to me. And I even had to say I'm sorry a few times. Once it was brought to my attention. Wow. And again, that's a tough one right there. You know, for me, this depends on the situation. Sometimes it's easy for me. Sometimes I'm too embarrassed to apologize, too ashamed to apologize. And sometimes I just like to make things right once I find out. So, okay. And y'all doing good. Now, the last part of this forgiveness, the last part of the forgiveness, this may be a tough one. I know it's tough for me. Have you forgiven yourself? Have you forgiven yourself? We know what we may have done in the past. And, the offended party forgave you, though. But have you forgiven yourself? Some people can accept forgiveness and move on. But some people will be like, man, I did her wrong. Man, I did him wrong. I shouldn't have did that. And I'm just, after they told you, hey, I accept your apology. I forgive you, my brother, my sister. Yeah, we still friends. We can still hang out. But you're still bothered by it. And you haven't forgiven yourself. And that is a tough one. And I know I deal with that. And of course, we got this video. Okay, here we go.
Okay, first one. Forgive yourself for not loving yourself the way you deserve to be loved. Forgive yourself for not putting yourself first when you really needed to. Damn, this shit's hard. I got this. Forgive yourself for holding on to your pain longer than you should have. Forgive yourself for not appreciating your body the way it deserves to be appreciated. It makes you upset. Forgive yourself for doubting your ability and for doubting yourself.
And those are some good ones right there. In forgiving yourself, not only for offending others, though, but forgiving yourself on shucks, how you treated yourself. How many of y'all, it's hard for y'all to forgive yourselves? Okay. Absolutely. I have forgiven myself because I am not perfect. And I know God has forgiven me. Destina. I've forgiven myself for some things easy. Other things took a lot of time for me to get past. I'm in a peaceful place with my wrongs now. It's very easy for me to say I am sorry. Okay, Naomi says, most times forgiving myself is more difficult than forgiving others. Ain't that the truth right there? Barton, you said it best. That's my battle of all time, forgiving myself. Sometimes it's hard to do. Wow. Kitty, forgiving myself has been harder than forgiving others. Wow. 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 This is something right here. Let me see. Yes, I forgive me. And I also included every morning doing my affirmations. Okay. Renee says this part definitely hard. And I'm my hardest critic. And I will say it's a work in progress. Okay, Cassandra says, it took me a while, but I finally got peace and forgave myself. Okay. Shireen says, I'm still a work in progress for forgiving myself. Tanya, I know how to forgive myself now, but I spent too many years punishing myself in a way of never treat others. Okay. Kim, we are called to forgive ourselves because God has. It's hard though. Okay. Forgive myself is hard, but I repent and ask God for strength. Okay. Zola, I do take a while to forgive myself because it hurts that I can't change something. Once it's done or said. Man, say that. I'm going to say this and I'm going to close that out with what you said. It's an old parable, old story. You're this young boy. He would go around just talking mean and ugly to people, hurting people's feelings. He would go out and hurt people's feelings. And his dad called him one day. He said, come here, son. So they went to this white fence. He told his son to hammer nails into that fence. You know, boom, boom, boom. Okay, all the nails were in the fence. Okay. Then he turned around and he told his son, now, son, take those nails out. And he took them out. And the lesson he said was, those nails are the mean words you said to people. And when you took out the nails, you were taking those words back. You were apologizing. But you see those holes in that fence, those scars are still there on those people. So think about that. Think twice. Treat people good. So that was a good one right there. Okay. Hope y'all enjoyed that one. Okay. We got something else. And of course, I hope we did good. I hope I did good on this forgiveness. So like, subscribe, and share. Okay. And as you know, at this part of the show, you know what? I had to mute the music on this one though, but church kids, I know some of y'all may have seen it, but I love this one though. Y'all take a look, okay? I wonder why he bust out into that. And then he did it, and just as quick as he started it, he stopped it. Ain't that nothing right there? He did it. Just pow, pow, pow. And the crazy thing is that his classmates or what have you, they didn't have any effect about it. They didn't look at him, give him any attention. He just went pow, 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 just like that. Okay. And let me see. Yeah, that's me. I can imagine. I can imagine that though. Okay. Got one more. One more. Some of y'all may have seen it, some of y'all haven't. But this, I think, is y'all be the judge of this one.
I'm a real father. I make dreams come true. My son wanted a bed. I got him one. Church. Hey, Jay, you look like baby Rick Ross, yeah. Let me see him. Your mother gonna be mad.
Oh, his mama gonna be mad. I wonder will she forgive him? Boy. Oh, that's a mess right there. Man, that was, and his laugh did it for me though. Everybody was laughing though. I really would like to see what his mom said about that though. Man, ain't that nothing though. But that was a good laugh right there. Well. Up next, sometime in the next hour, up next, we're gonna have the our after party. So come on in, bring your snacks, bring your whatever. Let's have a good time. Let's talk. Let's just do good, okay? And if it's the Lord's will, we'll be right back here. Same time, same channel for another edition of Tuesday Talk. Okay. And again, thank y'all so much. And again, once again, I hope you did a good job with this. And y'all did a great job with this. And it was good though. Hopefully we learned something. And hopefully it was a blessing. Okay, so y'all take care of yourselves. Y'all be good to each other. Don't take any wooden nickels, okay? So long, everybody.